He's a transport reformer, policy thinker, and administrator whose career has spanned roads, rails, and policy rooms, from Lagos traffic corridors to national railway corridors. His journey tells the story of transformation, resilience, and vision. I am Femi Soneye, and this is The Exchange, where conversations meet impact.
Today, we sit down with Dr. Kayode Okpeifa, the Managing Director of Nigeria Railway Corporation, to explore how Nigeria's rail system is evolving, what the future holds for mobility, and how innovation is reshaping connectivity across the nation. Welcome to The Exchange. I'm Joycelyn Ella Keche Adam. And Dr. Opeifa, as a Lagos brought-up child, I would say, Eka sir.
Ekule.
Thank you, sir.
A good day.
Okay, you're welcome to The Exchange, sir.
Doctor, quickly, you spent years shaping the transport system in Nigeria, from roads to rails. The question is, if you weren't in the transport sector, what career path would you have chosen?
I would have been, apart from government and policy making, I would have been somewhere superintending a long life, enduring industry where you make pharmaceuticals. I will have been involved in finding solutions to diseases, life-threatening diseases, cancer, COVID, and so many things. Basically, I would have been in the healthcare industry.
Healthcare industry. Wow, that's
that was actually my background.
Oh, wow.
I worked in developing technologies, drug delivery technologies, moving from oral to parenteral, that is oral to injectables, and injectables to oral. And also working on using nanoparticle technology to deliver high doses of critical drugs like peptides or drugs for cancer. And in fact, I've been involved in making a lot of cancer medications from scratch.
That's interesting.
Yeah, quite interesting.
Wow.
Like I said, between driving and taking the train, which one gives you more joy? And be honest, sir, do you miss the Lagos traffic?
Now, okay, I don't see traffic on Lagos roads. I just see prosperity.
Really?
Yeah, what you see.
After spending hours as sitting in one.
No. It depends on your perspective. If your mindset is hours, you see hours. If your mindset is in taking advantage of Lagos, the prosperity of Lagos, what you see is wealth. So any city you see traffic, there is something inherent in that city that defines wealth and prosperity. And that's what differentiates Lagos from every other part of Nigeria. That's what makes New York very cheap. That's what makes Shanghai. That's what makes Beijing. That's what makes those cities where you see traffic. Because it is the prosperity that brings congestion on the road. Everybody is struggling, everybody is moving, everybody is hustling to get something done. So nobody wants to lose any minute, no per second loss in time. Everybody just wants to get on time. Everybody is on their toes. So, but for Lagos specifically, the issue with Lagos is inadequate understanding of what to do and how to do it, and that is by the people.
Okay.
If you understand the Lagos movement, you will not see traffic. That's why I don't see traffic in Lagos. I know when to go to the right, I know when to go to the east, I know when to go to the north, I know when to go to the south. I plan my journey ahead of time and I use my Google Map. When Google Map tells me it's going to take more than 1 hour, I stay back. I program my Google Map. When I see that the traffic situation has reduced to 30 minutes, I hit the road. There is nothing you want to do that you cannot program. Secondly, there's also a lot of assumptions on Lagos Road. For example, if you go on Third Mainland Bridge in the afternoon, like 5 p.m., you see around 6 p.m., you see a lot of queue coming from the island. Yeah, that's expected. That's the direction of flow.
Yes.
But if you move from Marina or from let's say, Ikoyi end, and you leave at 5 p.m., you won't see traffic until you get to Ikeja. But if you move like 5:45, you will see traffic, because at that time, everybody that closes at 4:30 had come from 3 different sides, and they match at Adeniji and Deleye to create a bottleneck. And that means you have three vehicles struggling for the space of one space. So that will now slow down. So if you understand that, that's why some people stay late at work, but they also got it wrong. The later you stay, the traffic is building up. So by the time they come, they just got into the traffic. So except you stay until 8 p.m., that's when you see traffic. So we conducted studies, and they proved us right. The same thing in the morning. If you leave your house by 6, you don't see anything. But when you leave by 7, the road is full, everybody is going the same time, no shift work, everybody resume at 7 or 8 or 9, close at 5. So you have to design your own way to be away from those shifts. You won't see traffic. Then 3, some parts of Lagos don't even see it. If you live in VI, you live in Lekki, and you work in the Ikeja, you won't see traffic. In the morning, you are going against traffic. In the evening, you are coming against traffic. But when you look to your side of the road to the left, you see traffic, but you will never feel it. So it's, yes, we have traffic in Lagos. But seriously speaking, you need to understand it. And that was why we established traffic radio. And when we established traffic radio, the stress was taken away, because constantly somebody is telling you, on your way to this place, there is traffic. On your way to this place, there's congestion. On your way to this place, there's what you call go slow. On your way to this, there's bumper to bumper. So you quickly know how to move away from those, or you relax your mind. If you're in a traffic that will take 3 hours, assuming, let me say 2 hours, 3 hours is too long.
Yes.
If you're in traffic that will take 2 hours, and somebody tells you it's going to take 2 hours, what do? You prepare your mind to 2 hours instead of 1 hour. But on third mainland bridge, believe me, nobody spends more than 2 hours. But they have in their mind that they have spent 4 hours. So when I did a study, my PhD study, disproves many of those myths that people spend so hours. It's all exaggeration. Some people do these studies to make money from developmental agencies. If you live in the Lagos west towards Badagry, you won't see the traffic because you are going short distances. But if you walk in Ikeja, if you live in Ikeja and you walk in Victoria, you will see the traffic. If you live in Agege and you walk in Ikeja, you won't see the traffic. So it depends on where you live and where you work. And it is also dependent on the time of the day. But all those lost hours is mostly exaggerated. My PhD studies gave the average hour Lagos people spend on the road no more than 60 minutes, 45 minutes to 60 minutes on the journey.
So the traffic radio is still on?
Yeah, it's still on.
Till now?
Yep.
Wow.
I think it's the most sought radio station in Nigeria up to now.
Wow.
When it started, within 3 months, it became the #1 radio station in terms of listeners traffic.
Awesome.
And I think it's still maintaining that.
Okay, Doctor, you agree with me that the rail system is central to Nigeria's economic growth. What is your strategic vision for modernizing the rail system, at least to take pressure off our roads?
Okay, let me start by saying that we are starting too late, but still not too bad. We started in 1898 to put up the rail infrastructure in this country, just a few years after South Africa started. And while they are not about 35,000 kilometers length of roadways, Nigeria is still struggling with 4,000. For 60 years after 1912, when the rail sector kicked off really with the merging of the Lagos Rail Company and the Kano Baro Line Rail Company, we built 3,500 kilometers of roadway before 1960. By 1960 to 2000, we have built nothing. We did nothing. So we lost 60 years, and until Obasanjo regime in 2002, towards the end of the government, Obasanjo woke up. Towards the end of his first term, he woke up and he started the rail modernization program. this modernization was what Awolowo documented in his book, Strategy for Government or something, in 1970, where he talked about the standard gauge. So for too many years, Nigerian government after government did little to improve the rail sector. So what you have now is we are now trying to catch up. And the world has also moved. They have moved from narrow gauge to standard gauge to high speed rail to maglev. They've moved to so many things monorail. So what we have to do is to join where they are. So for me, it may not be too late for us if we get the right thing done. And the right thing is policy. So the first policy to make that happen happened in 2023, when the government removed rail from exclusive to concurrent. So you now have a situation where state governments and the federal government, even local government and private sector, can delve into rail infrastructure and operations development. Also, you notice the impact of this when Lagos State, under the current president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, tried to do the Lagos red line, blue line, green line, purple line, yellow, and was frustrated by the federal government. But now, nobody can frustrate anybody. So that's the first move, is to do the policy, the statutes area. There are three things that are critical: statutes, legislations, regulations, and the rest. That is the law. Then the second will be the structures. You need to create the agencies, the structures with which you implement what you have in the law. Then the third one is the processes. You need to put up processes that will assure you that the law, the statute, the regulations, and the structures will work. So you now put in those little processes, and when you have all these three together, you have the status amended now. Now the structures is also going to change. NRC must change. State systems must change. Transportation system must change. Government understanding of how to distribute resources must change. If you don't go into all those ones, the processes will not be there. Those are the processes we're talking. Yeah. So what is the government, how far has the government gone? The government has, having made that law, the current government too has re-emphasized it. Now you've seen government like Lagos already going to the State House of Assembly to establish their own railway company. You see government like Kaduna is trying to do his own metro. You see Kano trying to do his metro. You see even Borno is working on metro. Then you also see the Nigerian Railway Corporation now working to create a new strategic roadmap, a strategic master plan for rail. There used to be one in 2002, 25 years, which is supposed to expire in the next 2 years. But you know what? After the first 5 years, everybody forget about it. No, the first 10 years, nothing happened. Then the next, when it did happen in 2012, there was human capacity development that happened. And after the people were brought in, no infrastructure development until Buhari government came in to complete Abuja, Kaduna. His government was there when the Abuja Rail Mass Transit was also completed 2 lines. Then the Lagos State government had it easy, and they were able to partner with the federal government. Blue Line was completed, the first electric line in West Africa. Then the Lagos State government also partnered with the federal government on the Lagos-Ibadan line to start the red line. And by the way, the Lagos-Ibadan line was done in 3 years. That is to tell you that we can build trade within the time of a particular 4-year tenure of a government. So many things were thrown open under the Buhari administration. And taking into cognizance what Asiwaju represents from his time in Lagos, the sky is the limit. I'm aware that a new map that will take rail to all states, or that will take national rail to all states in Nigeria is on the table.
So just to connect the whole nation.
That one is already on the table by this time. It's just to be launched. That's 1. 2, the government has also created the regional development commissions. And I think we've met with 2, but I know all of them are working towards a rail integration system with the national rail lines. Then 3, the state governments, not less than 6 of them, are also working hard to make sure we have a rail system within their state. Whether it's affordable, they can afford to construct it, is not the particular interest. The first thing is to have a policy around your state, have a plan, have an agency to drive it. Then you start the processes. Then developmental organizations, funding organizations will come, they will fund. If they cannot fund, you can fund within your budgets. Private sector will come. But first, you must have the policy, the structures, and the processes. But when those 3 things are in place, you give the funding authorities the confidence that at least their investment will be safe.
But are we seeing any form of private investment presently? Are we seeing any form of that?
I would say a lot in the last 2-3 years, but not enough to make the desired change. The reason being that rail is an expensive venture. The return on investment, the cashback period takes a long time. The return on investment is also not that impressive. So except it is incentivized and make interesting by any government, people will not show interest. I rather put my money in the stock market and start counting my returns than I carry my money to a rail system that it takes 4 years to construct. To build a locomotive takes another 15 months from the day I make my full payment before they start counting 15 for you. So what you see in the private sector involvement, let's talk to the developmental organization first. When Lagos started in 2008 or 9 under Fashola, nobody was ready to give one dime to Lagos State government for a rail project. But the government took a decision that we'll build this rail and we'll surprise them. And after the first year of starting the Lagos Blue Line and the Lagos Badagry Expressway, the World Bank said, we gave you a loan of 600 million. There were restrictions of what you cannot use the loan for. Now we are removing those restrictions. You can use the loan for it. You know why? Why? What Lagos State government wanted then was a loan for rail.
Oh, okay.
Separate and a loan for other development things. So they got the loan for other things, but they can't use it for rail. But when they saw that Lagos put his budget on rail and was constructing the Badagry Express and at the same time constructing the rail lines, the World Bank shifted and said you can use it for anything. Without saying you can use it for rail. Now the same Lagos State government is now getting all sort of support. Not only Lagos, Abuja, Federal Capital Territory is now getting support. All many states, Kano is getting, everybody is now getting support. Investors are now running after the Nigerian rail infrastructure development. So that's on the international. So the situation has changed. They are now realizing the largest economy in Africa with huge population, huge youth population. If you invest your investment dollar in this country, your return on investment will be guaranteed. Because the government is also using sovereign guarantee to back many of these loans. So once there is a sovereign guarantee behind the loans, the investors are now more. I just came back from Riyadh, from the Saudi Rail conference, and the signal is, after I participated in one of the discussion sessions, come and see how people rush after me. Oh, you're from Nigeria. This is my car. You're from Nigeria. This is my car. We learned you're doing this. We are part of the project. We ran away. We were scared. But now we are okay. So that's the kind of. In the private sector, a lot of private sector people are involved. In the Nigerian Railway Corporation, for example, now, we have about 38 logistics companies involved in freight.
Okay.
So they are the one moving the freight. So all we do is provide the line and then the locomotives and the wagons. And that's under what we call the track access program. So you see, people will not come if you don't have good policy. So we prepare a document on track access program, call it track program, which allows you to use our track. If you bring your locomotive, you can use our track. If you don't have your locomotive, you don't have your engine, you can lease our locomotive, you can lease our engine. If you don't want to lease, you go with us, where we join 3 or 4 of you together on the 35 wagon rigs, and we move your store. When it gets to the destination, you collect your own, I collect my own, Mr. Femi collects his own, and we all move away. So we have the track access program. Lagos has a license to run passenger on the Lagos Ibadan. CCC Nigeria Limited, not CCC China. CCC Nigeria Limited has a license to move cargo. And those who could not afford to have their own equipment or their own engines, they just lease time. So you can also lease time share, like you do in your B&B system, or you do, so many options. So you just take a time share. I want to be the one to move from 11 to 12. So there's a program. The locomotive will move only your goods around that time. I move my own around 3. So all of them are private sector driven. Even ticketing is private sector driven. Most of our facility management, what we do for ourselves is maintenance and running train. Almost every other thing around Nigerian Railway Corporation is mostly private sector driven. Now, in terms of investment, the government is also making it easy for private sector to come in. So they are coming in now mostly on parks. We call it freight yards.
Okay.
They are building freight yards to ease logistics. That's the easiest way to come in. Then we are beginning to hear news. Some people are prepared to bring in their own locomotives. Now that they see that the government is more serious than ever to get the private sector. The issue with the private sector is confidence, guarantee of return on investment, guarantee on capacity to transfer their profits in the currency of their host nation. I don't want to run the company. I made so much money in Naira. I can't convert it to dollars or pounds, so I convert the money, I can take it out of the country. So those are the situations within the last administration. But give thanks to the governor of Central Bank, Mr. Cardoso, he has made that very
much
easy.
easier.
And I can tell you, in the next 2 years, by the time the president unveils the National Rail Master Plan, you will see how people come. I don't want to leak everything out. I can tell you, many of our states will start the construction by 2026. And I can also tell you the high-speed rail that was proposed by one of the private sector partners working with, don't know how many financing agencies all over the world, mostly from Asia, is also moving on. And that's the high-speed rail. Lagos to Abuja. So many things. And by the time the government completes Ibadan to Abuja, and you can travel from Lagos to Kano. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
You just sit in the train.
It will take a lot of pressure off the roads.
And it will also make people live a better life.
Yes.
Yeah, to be cheaper, you live better, you enjoy less carbon emission, cleaner energy, and what else you want to do? It also becomes, did you see the social media buzz?
Yeah.
About wedding on a train?
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yes, it was.
When else you want to do your birthday, you should try it. I'll give you free access.
I'll take you up on that.
Provided you come with the studio.
I will.
Doctor, you see, many Nigerians still have concerns, especially with safety, maintenance, and most recently, security. What are you doing to address these concerns?
Yeah, these are genuine concerns, not just about Nigerians. Nigerians are also concerned about the airspace. We are also concerned about the waterways. I'm from Lagos, and the former governor of Lagos, Governor Fashola, used to crack a joke. These Lagosian people, they hate water. Yet they are surrounded by water. When they drive on Third Mainland, you see them in the middle of the road. Because when you get an accident into the water, there is no the chances of safety, but the road remains the safest in terms of land transport system, even with water system. And even when you have accident on the road, there is still chance, on the rail, just like it is on the road, there is still chance that people come. We had one recently in Abuja, 618 people on board, not a single fatality. About 22 were injured, and we thank God things were not as bad. The particular engine was recovered by Nigerian engineering technicians using semi-automated and cranes, and it was done within a record time. So it means safety will continue to be a concern, but the confidence and the assurance is that we'll continue to work on the best level of safety, best practices. In terms of security, it's also a concern, but only some parts of the country. You don't have this kind of issues of security issues in the southwest, that's on the Lagos, Ibadan, and those corridors. But we have it in the northern part and also
especially Abuja,
on
Kaduna.
the eastern part. But the good news is that we've not had any issues related to breach from that side, from security point in the last 3 years. That means something is going on that is worthy of being happy about. The same thing on the Warri Takwe, the central line, the one that runs from Warri to Ajaokuta, and we've not had security breaches. Even when you have clashes in the neighborhood, it doesn't spread onto the track. So our security people are doing something great. What they are doing, they should keep doing and keep doing more. So far, so good. The issues we have more is the issue of vandalism. Tracks are being vandalized. nuts are being removed, clips are being removed, cables are being tampered with, points, signal lines have been tampered with. And the worst still is on the northeast, southeast, and the north central, where a whole track is being taken away because we are not.
I mean, how long does it take them to,
do that,
extract that?
No, these are in the aspect of the country where rains are no longer running. You know, when we started the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, we removed the track from Port Harcourt to Enugu. What that does is it cuts off Makoti, Maiduguri, Lafia, all these people were cut off. So during COVID, when the country was almost shut down for like 1 year, some places have no serious governance. And people were saying, okay, that means the train is no longer coming here. So this is our own share of the national cake. They started taking the thing and selling it. Then there's also an international market behind scrap iron and scrap aluminum.
Getting to that, yeah.
So those came off from China, Japan, Korea, and many parts. And they showed interest in Nigerian real metals, and people were encouraged to start selling it. But that has gone down since about December 2024. The rate is going down now. So they have moved from those big ones.
Okay.
They are now moving to the boats. You know, those ones are easy. And you see, these are the same things they do all over. But when it is electric, nobody goes near it.
Yeah.
If it is not electric, and they want to say so nobody's going on the blue line in Lagos because it's electrified. So in another 5 years, I'm so confident we will electrify most of our lines. In the next 2 years, we are working with RIA, we are working with PCNGI, we are working with our own in-house engineers to look how gas people, to see how we can build gas systems to power our stations.
Okay.
And from those gas systems, we build electricity systems that we can use to power the lines. So we are likely to do that with Lagos, Ibadan, Lagos, Kano, and do it with Port Harcourt, Warri, Ajaokuta, and possibly Warri to Ajaokuta to Abuja. By the time we get them electrified, the level of, but the alternative is for us to run more trains. If more trains run, people will realize that they will take ownership and there will not be enough time.
I think even these vandals, they do these operations at night.
Yeah, if you do operation at night and the rain runs till 8 p.m., that means some people must get on the track by 10 to check the tracks. Yes. So they too will see that this thing is valid. Some people thought we are no longer running one, but the more important is the syndicate, the international syndicate and the national syndicate behind it. Give it to the military and the police, the security agencies. They're doing more now. There is more awareness that these things are not scraps. They are critical national assets, and that any attempt to deface them will cause loss of life. But thank God, we've not been having accidents in recent time listed to that. The latest accident, people thought it was either an attack or a vandal, whatever. No, it has nothing to do with it. It was completely human error based on wrong application of operational guidelines.
Okay, so before I let you go, talking about vandals and the market for metal, do you think we should have a law that will put a permanent stop to selling used metals? Because even in the power sector, they're having the same TCN every day pumping out press releases on vandalization of their towers. Do you think the government should do something about this?
The government is doing something. Okay. What is the best thing to do is the issue. In my own view, yes. I'm also going to go back to the Fashola era in Lagos, where we were lightening up Lagos and people are still in our cable. And the electricity board was getting worried. Fashola said, don't get yourself worried. When they steal it, replace it. It will get to a point they will steal to the point so they because people for broken. They will have so much in the store, there's nowhere to keep it. Then the leg of the dead body will start showing outside. Then they will stop. Then they will be caught. And it happened. They were caught. That's number one. Number two, let us focus on what we want to do. Our job is to run trains. Let's start bringing more trains on the track. Okay. Let's use for the use of technology to reduce to distract people and to reduce the capacity for people to take away these things. But not forgetting that for real security, more men on the ground, more boots on the ground is critical. Then the next thing we do as a government is to go to global standard. This thing is happening worldwide. It's not the law alone. If there are enough economic sabotage law, but when you take people to court, what happens? When you take them to court, they fine them 2,000, 20,000. So you also talk of the judicial system. So government must sit down, and I want to say that the Office of the National Security Advisor is already constituting a stakeholder discussion that is ongoing already with Ministry of Justice and all the critical stakeholders to make sure that do we need more laws? Do we have enough? And when these things happen, how do we prosecute them? Are there collaborations? Are there collaborators? Then for the companies who are into metal melting, they also have to be on watch because that's where the trouble is. They are the one. Look, even in Rio, they came to me that they are coming to Nigeria to look for scrap aluminum. I said, scrap aluminum. I said, those aluminum, you want to take away our aircraft? We don't even have enough. Then they said, what about the real? I said, anybody that tells you have scrap in Nigeria, scrap metal, it's like if you want to get real scrap metal, go and take the red ships in the water. Nobody's going there. They're coming for the one that is easy to pick. I know the railway one is easy to pick for them. But by the time we electrify, I don't think it will go beyond 2 years. We'll definitely electrify one of our lines. And people will discover if we move close, it will roast you up. God forbid. It's not a prayer.
That would deter.
But, I mean,
nobody's going close to the Blue Line Lagos. I was in South Africa for a rail conference, and when the South African person was talking, I was like, okay, we have one of the major challenges too is vandalism. I said, but are they not electric? He said they still cut the electric cables. What? They know when you turn it off for maintenance. He says most especially there's signals don't carry electrical effect. So they cut off the signals cable. And when you cut off one, you shut down the whole length. So in the Britain too, the UK there's also still cables, but not as we have. I think a lot of things are going on, not for TV, not for podcasts, not for communications, but people will start seeing. If I can tell you the rate has gone down for the big ones, they have now come for the small ones. They are now picking the clips everywhere. But they will carry the clips so the thing will pass. And when the thing is full in their room, they have nowhere to head. Their neighbor will come and say, oh, we caught some people with materials in their houses. I can't remember the
really?
state. Yeah. They were stored in the houses because when we start pursuing them, they started carrying the thing into the houses. We got a place too behind NNPC in Kaduna. NNPC. So that we have a rail line that passed through. They've removed those things and kept it in one of the stores there. So it's all over, but we are running after them.
I think it would also be good to go after those that purchase those items. What government can also do, which we are proposing, is to request that surveillance camera be provided at those companies, and those companies should report or should document all consignments they get, like they do for hotels. These hotels give them information about people. So that if government goes there to say, let's see your records, you have 39 trailers coming, where did they bring the materials from? They should be able to open the books because they are not completely out of the hooks. Doctor, what has been your greatest challenge since assuming office as the MD of the Nigerian Railway Corporation?
Okay, you are touching my very delicate part. I don't see challenges anymore in life. I see opportunities. But in order to address questions such as this, I change the word to issues. What are the issues? But when I say issues, just assume you're thinking, and those listening to me, that I'm talking about that word. Because, when you start talking of challenges, you are trying to say that you have no brain. Because why God gave us brain is to solve problems and overcome it. The Bible is clear that it's not that we will not see challenges or tribulations, but we will overcome them. So what is the major one is one, funding. We need to appropriately fund this sector. This sector is one of the pillars that will determine whether you remain developing or developed. This is one of the pillars, not just electricity, like people tend to, not just mineral mining or whatever. It's one of the pillars. If there are five, mobility. I have done a lot of study on poverty in relation to development, and you will see that mobility is what many countries in the world focuses on. If people have capacity to move freely, to do trade, do business, logistics, supply chain, and the rest, the economy will turn. So funding is key. You have to treat this sector not just as an economic sector, it's also a social sector. It must be both a social and economic sector to drive trade, to drive business, to drive development. Number two is a lack of understanding of the role of rail in national development by many of our policy and decision makers. They have this impression that you have to go for the easy thing, that is the road. They don't understand that the history of world-class development is around rail development. The reason why the British came here was to look for our mineral resources. But you know what they first did? The first industry that they actually created was the railway. Because they needed to move those resources away from where they are created. So you can mine all the lithium, mine all the gold, mine everything. You still need the locomotives, the train, to take it to the factory, to take it to the seaport for export to generate foreign exchange. So lack of understanding by our policy makers. I have met so many people. They just don't understand it. They thought really they travel to London. America doesn't have rail. They travel to Japan, they travel to China, and they see coursing rain, they see everything. And they thought those people just put those things for luxury. No, they put it for economic development. It is the major facilitator of trade beyond bilateral or multilateral agreement. If you don't have rail, you will not develop. It is as simple as A, B, C. Why were the British so particular about the Lagos-Kano rail? Why did they go to Port Harcourt to Maiduguri? They are smart. And you won't believe it. The prosperity of the Dantata family, sorry to mention that family, is tied to rail. It was when the rail was developed to move granite. Then they discovered that, no, it was developed to move. I think it started with cotton. And they now discovered granite. One of the two, I can't get it right now. And so they had to even make a rail line into the Dantata family's warehouse. So when you talk of the pyramids, that's what translated to pyramids. So people now pack all their granite, whatever, in sack to that place, and the thing keeps going, and the train will come and pick it straight to Lagos. The Lagos port, or straight to Barrow port. From Barrow port, they take it to Onitsha, and then onto the Onne port or Onitsha port or Lagos port. So the reason why the British were able to take our stuff out was the rail. The same thing with the petrol they took. They take it either by ship, where they can't take it by ship, in countries that are not that accessible, they put it on the rail tankers and ship it out. The same thing they did with coal. The Enugu coal was moved by the Port Harcourt Maiduguri route. They couldn't have been moving coal with trucks. So go and check the history of developed countries. Go and check the history of America, the history of China. In fact, during the World War, Russia and Poland had to change their grade. If you're coming from, Poland then Warsaw was in the Eastern Europe, and then you have Russia. So Russia has to change the grade of their railway, so that when you are coming from Poland, the rail can't pass through, because it became an instrument of war, protection, and safety. That was the power of rail. During the invasion, the military were using rail to cross nations. So I don't know if you like it or not. We have no option. We have to go back and put up a rail system. Saudi Arabia had the same problem with Nigeria until about 10, 15 years ago. They were stopped. You go to Saudi, you see some of the best roads in the world. Go and see Saudi, and they have 3 high-speed rail in the last, 5 or 10 years? Saudi rail system had changed in the last 15 years because the government just put focus on the rail sector, and they started linking cities You know, they have a very large landmass in the desert. Now they are moving rail in the deserts. They now have rail connecting Mecca to Medina to Jeddah and the rest. They don't have that. People were traveling by road. Now they have moved. So if Saudi can do it, petrodollar, nothing stops Nigeria. By the way, do you know sometimes during the colonial days, when the colonial governor general is not, or the head of the government is not around, you know who deputizes?
No.
It's the general manager of the Nigerian Railways.
Really?
Yes. So I think when the president goes out, President Bola, you should just call me to come on. Deputize just for one day. I will just sign the bill that says 50% of budget should go for it. Then that's what happens.
Don't be so biased.
Whenever Lord Lugard is not around, he's the general manager of the Railway Corporation.
Really?
That's because that's the most important institution in Nigeria. In fact, I don't know which other institution in Nigeria is older than the railway, not more than one.
Yeah, they've been here for a long time. Doctor, before you go, I want to ask you this. Is there something you want our viewers and Nigerians to know about what you're doing now in the rail, in Nigerian Railway?
I'll tell them that there is hope, and that your brothers and sisters working in the Nigerian Railway, the engineers, are doing a fantastic job. They have capacity to build rail, they have capacity to maintain rail, provided they are given the required resources. What are we doing? What we are doing is that we are optimizing what we have now. We built 3,500 kilometers of rail for 16 years. In the last 10, 15 years, we built additional 1,000. So we are optimizing them. We are going to make sure that the Lagos-Kano rail works fully as soon as funding is provided. Within 3-6 months that the funding is provided, that track will be supercharged and working for Nigerians. We are doing what we call we're also refurbishing the coaches. They are not too old. They are just not used. We are refurbishing them and the locomotives to make sure they are in their best form to work for you people. Then the second one is we have a program called Track Access Program, where we have opened up the opportunity for Nigerians, investors, private sector investors, state governments to participate and take advantage of national assets. Then 3, we have what we call Railing with the States. Now we are releasing the national access to state governments to come and use to move people. Plateau is using it, Lagos is using it, Kaduna and Kano will soon join. Ogun State too is about to join. So the rail tracks are available. The lines to Idogo for the people in the Ogun West side, we are working to get it back. We are working to get the Niger, the Kaduna Zaria line. So many of the states, the old rail lines will soon come back. And we have what we call the freight by rail revolution, where we are to make sure that at least 80% of our revenue and focus will be on rail, so that we remove pressure from the road. Not only remove pressure from the road, reduce carbon emission, not only reduce carbon emission, make cost of logistics, cost of foods, cost of goods, inflation. By the way, the coming down of the inflation in the last 6 months, nobody is talking about rail, but guess what? The statistics from the Nigeria Bureau says rail is, from last year, rail made 37% increase in terms of growth, and rail is a major contributor, one of the top 10 contributors to Nigeria GDP growth in the last 2-3 quarters. What does that tell us? That what we are doing the last 2 years is yielding results. And we'll give thanks to Mr. President for giving us support. We need more support. We need more money. And we need more understanding from those who are managing the economy. Rail is a social sector, at the same time is an economic sector. So if you take it as a social and you don't put economic, the economic people will not put money. If you take it as economic and you don't put social the common people will not enjoy. So please take us as both social and economic. But more in Nigeria, in a third world country, is a social infrastructure.
It's interesting.
Quite interesting.
What an insightful exchange with Dr. Kayode Okpeifa, a man driven by purpose and committed to reconnecting Nigeria through the power of the rail. Thank you, Dr. Opeifa, for coming to the exchange today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And you can also listen to the exchange with Femi Soneye on Spotify. Be sure to search for The Exchange with Femi Soneye. I'm Joycelyn Ella Keche Ada, and remember, the conversation continues in the comment section. Bye for now.